you don't know us, we're Gomo Learning. We believe we're the world's leading cloud-based responsive HTML5 e-learning authoring tool. We offer integrated hosting and analytics, so it's more than just authoring. We can deliver content to your learners, and we can now deliver it through our brand new native app capability. Who are our customers? Well, they tend to be global organizations. British Airways, Nike, the names you can see on the screen today. You don't have to be a global organization to be using Gomo, but a lot of global customers do. We've been doing very nicely in the awards sector. Brandon Hall, US's foremost analyst in the e-learning space, gave us gold in December of 2015, Best Advance in Content Authoring Technology. Craig Weiss there, most influential e-learning blogger in the world for the last 2 years. Actually, I need to update this particular slide. He's now got us as the top 2 authoring tool in the world. And Fosway, Europe's leading HR analyst, have got us as the leading core challenger in this particular authoring tool space. We're also part of Learning Technologies Group, so Gomo is part of a much bigger group. We sit alongside people like Leo, which is Europe's biggest e-learning production house, Preloaded, Games with Purpose, Uclea do financial services, regulatory training, and we've just acquired very recently Rustici, who basically look after SCORM and XAPI. And a lot of their technologies will be making their way very quickly into the Gomo roadmap, so watch this space for exciting developments there. What do we provide? Well, there's 2 products. You can buy authoring on its own, or you can take the hosting, and together they make the Gomo Learning Suite. So hosting allows you to deliver your content, and I'll show you some examples of that in a moment. What makes Gomo different from the traditional e-learning authoring tools that are out there? First and foremost, Gomo produces responsive and adaptive HTML5 content completely automatically. It's inherent within the product. You only have to build a course once. You don't have to make 5 different versions: landscape, portrait, desktop, tablet, smartphone. You just build one course, and the player auto-senses the device, screen size and orientation, and will then readjust the content to fit. So fully responsive and adaptive HTML5 output. And just to show you this in practice, this is my setup. I've got my Windows 10 PC, top left. I've got my iPad mini, and I've got a Nexus 5 Google Nexus 5 phone. And you can see running Gomo, everything fills the screen perfectly. Lots of other authoring tools can't do this. Some of them will force you to turn the device on its side, and who holds a smartphone horizontally? Not many people that I know, but they'll force you to do it that, or they'll even just fail to render on a smartphone. Others will take your rectangle of content that might be sat in the middle of the screen and squish it down into the top third, the middle of a smartphone screen, rendering it completely useless. Because obviously you can't read the text, the buttons have shrunk, you can't hit them, and so on. Gomo solves all of those problems for you. Gomo's in the cloud, so there's nothing to download, nothing to install. We've got full collaboration, we've got integrated online review. And because it's in the cloud, we can offer integrated hosting and analytics. So not just authoring, but the ability to get the content into the hands of your learners in lots of interesting ways with full XAPI analytics. And I'll show you this later on. And later this month in the Android and iOS app stores, Windows Phone to follow very shortly, will be the Gomu Central App. It's in final beta now. It's a Cradle app for all your courses. Download it and install it on your particular device. You then authenticate yourself and log in. And when you see your list of courses that are available to you, each one will have a download button, so you can choose to either consume it live or download it to your device, which will then allow you to consume the course offline if you're going on a plane or a train or a bus or somewhere where there's no Wi-Fi, you're out in the wilds. You can consume that course with a full native app experience. But the really clever bit is that when you get back to the office, or 3G or 4G, the app will ring home and transmit your results back to Gomo. So full offline consumption with XAPI analytics and tracking. Alright, so that's the theory. Let's go and have a look at Gomo in practice. This is Gomo, and I'll have in a moment I've got access to hosting as well, and I'll show you both parts of the product later on. But what I'm going to do for today's presentation, because we're focusing on the multilingual capabilities, is build a multilingual course very quickly. Today it's Thursday and it's 15:10 where I am. And you can see here, and this is brand new, this only went live in Gomo yesterday, I've got my language selector. So I can build a single course with a single language, such as English or whatever language I prefer. But if I want a multilingual course, then I can choose the additional languages that I'm going to have. So we'll have this one in French, and maybe also in Chinese. So I've now got a multilingual course with a default language of British English and two additional languages, French and Chinese. Next, choose the theme, how I want this course to look. You're seeing here the standard Gomo themes. These are all fully configurable. Later on I will show you some of the custom themes that we've done for people like Burberry and Nike and British Airways and so on. And then finally choose what my students are going to get when they see this course. So I'll give them a menu. We only need one topic. I'm not going to do much in here. We won't bother with help or glossary, but we will put the language selector on. We'll have a language button, a table of contents and a progress bar. And then finally I can choose who else can work on this project with me. And I'll invite Hugh, who's hopefully busy answering all your questions, to also work on this particular project. So because Gomo's in the cloud, we can collaborate and work together to build out your courses. As soon as this is built, it will be available to me and Hugh also to start working on this particular course. So there it is, it's online. I've got a header navigation bar at the top here. Nothing in it at the moment. I've got my menu and my first topic, and I've got my footer navigation down at the bottom. This is all configurable, so if I don't want the progress bar down at the bottom, I can place it up at the top like so, and maybe the language selector would also be better at the top of the screen. So I'll add the, where's it gone? Just remove that one side, and we'll add the language selector up the top there. Okay, so I've set the course up with a menu and a topic. Let's open up the menu now and start some authoring. And for the first bit of the exercise, I'll just create an English version of the course. I'll also open up topic 1, so we've got both topics available. And then I'll show you the multilingual capabilities. Now this is the main Gomo editor, and just to explain what's going on, is that on the left is the navigator. That's the list of screens in this topic. Next to that is the assets panel, so if I wanted video, audio, presentational assets or question assets, I can just drag and drop these onto the page. In the middle of the screen is my screen layout. This is my preview window, and this changes as I'm working through and adding items to the page. And on the right hand side is the properties panel, and that's dynamic, also changing as I select items. You can see that this content block here is a 2-column layout. On desktop and tablet, these two will sit next to each other. On a smartphone, Gomo will drop the right-hand content block below the left-hand one. And that's how we get multi-device behavior from a single authoring effort. So let's go and put some content together. I'm first of all going to grab some text off the Gomo website to drop into this introduction to Gomo page. So I'll just go and drag this, and then we'll translate this later on. So there's my text for the English version. Link to topic 1. Actually, I'll call this one Welcome to Gomo. I'll just rename the button like so. And on the right hand side of this page we'll drop in an image. And I'll go and find something British so we can see that this is the English version, and there's Bookhouse like so. And we'll save that opening screen for that particular project. We'll now go into topic 1, and in this one we'll just do the English language version again. So we'll say Welcome to Gomo, like so. And on this screen here we'll delete that asset on the right hand side. We'll in a static image again, like so. Hopefully I've got the Gomo logo in here. No, I haven't. No, we'll stick an image of Brighton in for now. I'll align that to the right hand side of the page. We'll now add in a second screen, and this time I'm going to use screen template. Templates let me build up really interactive screens very quickly. So for this particular one I'm going to choose a hotspot image, and we'll do a world map all about our offices. And don't panic, the multilingual bit is coming very soon. I just need to get the basics of a British course in. And I haven't got my world map in here, so I'll just have to go and grab it off my operating system. Where's my world map gone? That's all I need. Okay, I'm going to change this. I will upload our customers, and we'll call this one our customers, and apply. So I'm just having to do this on the hoof a little bit here. I do apologise. Our customers. And because this is an interactive screen, Gomo has given me 3 subscreens where I can reveal information. So let's say hotspot item 1 will be about British Airways. And hotspot number 2 can be about Jaguar Land Rover. And then we'll drop in some imagery just so our students have got something interesting to look at. I'll just upload a quick file on Land Rover. This will do. I'll apply that. Okay. Going back to the world map now. So the world map, the logos. Hotspot 1 was for British Airways, so I'll just drag that over there. Hotspot 3 I don't need. Hotspot 2 was Jaguar Land Rover. I'll drag that over there. And if I look at hotspot 1, it's currently set to show the first subscreen, which was the British Airways subscreen. But I could say, well, actually, when somebody clicks there, open a web page, open a PDF, jump to a different screen, send an email, play some audio, set the language, set completion, set a variable. So there's a load of power under the hood here to make these courses as interactive and non-linear as I might want them to be. We'll add one more screen very quickly. Again, I'll add a screen from a template, and we'll add a quick multiple choice question. I'm doing all of this so you can see the translatable elements coming through. Everything's translatable. So where is our head office? Question mark. And up 3 options. So we'll say London, Brighton, which will be the correct answer, and Paris. Oops. I'll set Brighton to be correct, and I'm going to give some basic feedback. We'll say yes and no, and again basic feedback here is no. And then on this page here, we're going to delete that asset over there, and we'll drop in a video. All right. So we can save those changes, and all we've done so far is built the English language version of the course. Now the true production process when you're building courses at scale will be to hit the export to XLIFF button now, and that will generate all of the language files for the different languages that you've decided to have in this particular course. You'll send them to your translation agency. They'll translate the English text to German and Spanish or French, whichever it was, can't remember. And you've re-import it, you've immediately got a 3-language course. I haven't got time to wait for a translation agency, so I'm just going to translate these screens on the fly. But first thing I'll do is do a quick preview window just so we can see what this course looks like in its English-only state. I'll be sharing it with you via a QR code very soon, so if you have got your tablet or smartphone handy and you've got a QR code reader on it, now's the time to grab it because the course I'm working on can jump onto your screen. But this is how it looks at the moment. So there it is with Buckingham Palace on. Welcome to Gomo. I've got screen 1 with Brighton on. I've got my image wall here with my British Airways and my Jaguar reveals on, like so. And then on the third page I've got the quiz, where's our head office, got the video on the right hand side.
What is and will always be our unique competitive advantage.
And I'll choose Brighton and confirm and get the yes feedback that I set up. So that's the course as it looks at the moment, but we're here today to look at multilingual, so let's go and have a look at that. The thing to note here is that I created a single course and I've got multiple languages supported in it. I'm in the English view of the editor, and you can see on the top right here I've got a drop down and I can go to French and Chinese because those are the 2 of the languages I wanted to support. So if I go to French, it switches me to the French view of the editor. I can now see the French, and everything in red has not been translated yet, including the imagery. So if I wanted for the French users to have the Eiffel Tower instead of Buckingham Palace, they can do that. I've got my text here that I grabbed off the Gomo website. I'm now going to find Google Translate, hopefully. There it is. I'm not recommending this as a method for doing your translations. You'll clearly want to use a translation agency, but you can. Just to show you the idea of what we're doing here is copy all of that, paste it into Gomo, and you can see it's gone green now because it knows we've translated it. Welcome to Gomo is the next thing I'm going to translate, and we'll copy that, we'll go back into translate, and that comes out as Bienvenue à Gomo. Not sure you can really do a French accent with a Mancunian twang very well, but so we'll give it a go. So we'll copy that and we'll paste it into Gomo there, and that's probably enough for the menu. And then we'll jump into topic 1, and we'll go back to the first screen. Welcome to Gomo. I've just translated that. I know it's Bienvenue, like so. Topic 2 was our customers, so page 2 was our customers, so we'll copy that and we'll stick it into Google Translate. No client, like so. We'll copy that, drop it into Gomo, and then Screen 3 was where is our head office. Control C, let's put that into translate. Our customer, sorry. Copy that. Où se trouve notre siège social? I'm just dropping it into Notepad on the way through there to remove any formatting. Okay, so now we've got the question in French. We don't need to translate the answers, although I suppose we could. Make London Londres, and we'll say none is the feedback, and I don't need to go to Google Translate for these. None, and apply, and save those changes. So that quick and easy to do that just through Google Translate. Like I say, it's not necessarily the way I would recommend, but it works for small courses. Clearly, when you're producing at scale, you'll want to be doing it with using XLIFF import and export and a translation agency. But I'm now refreshing the browser at this course again, and we'll see the result of what we've just been doing. So Thursday at 15:10, clearly in English it's exactly as it was, but if I click on the language selector and choose French, you can see there that instantly the course switched to French mode. The Buckingham Palace became the Eiffel Tower. We now have our French text. We've got our French button in with a Gomo. We've got screen 1 here. We've got no clients. We haven't got little play on words there. We've got lots of clients, but hey, ignore me. And then our multiple choice quiz, où se trouve notre siège social, and little hiccup there with the text coming through, but we get we coming out in there. So that quick and easy to create a multilingual version. And at any time, I've got the language selector available to me. So if I want to go to the British English, we're back into the English version of the course. I'll just tidy this one up a little bit and then I'll share it with you. So if I go look at the settings for this course, I mentioned at the beginning we have the concept of themes. Themes control the look and feel of your courses. They're completely separate from content. So if I need to rebrand 100 courses, then I can just change the theme and it will pick up the new branding. This is the only time you specify size in Gomo. I'm going to say this is 1024 pixels wide. If you're on the desktop, on tablet and smartphone, it will figure it out for you. And I'll just change some of the colors in there. I'll make the white a bit grayer like so. But I've got control within the theme of lots of elements. So do I want the topic and screen titles on? I'll decide no. I could rebrand by changing the full screen background image, for example. So I've got loads of control here. We'll let those changes apply themselves to the course, and then we'll refresh the view of the browser, and I'll share the QR code with you as well. And apologies, of course, my French pronunciation wasn't particularly brilliant. So just refreshing the view. And you can see now as the course loads up, it's now constrained by width at 1024 pixels. So it looks a little bit neater. And when I get to the quiz, we should see some of the new color scheme applied coming through because I changed the colors in Gomo. Let's try and get this onto your computers. So give me 1 second and I'll try and get you the QR code. So if you've got a QR code reader, point it at the screen now and the course will jump onto your device. Once it's on your device, feel free to spin the device around in your hand and you'll see how the course adapts and responds to the changing device and browser conditions. So I'm going to leave that on the screen for a few seconds just for you to get your phones out of your pockets or bags and get them in there. Okay, shout at the end if anybody needs me to get that on the screen again, I can do it. So hopefully you've got a feel there for how Gomo handles languages and multiple languages in a single SCO. I've only been playing with it for a day or two, but I absolutely love it, and certainly everyone who's seen it is enjoying it from an authoring perspective, and just the fact that if you've got 21 languages to support, you no longer have 21 courses to support, and it's not just language translation; it's true localization. You saw me there replacing the Buckingham Palace with the Eiffel Tower. All of that sort of stuff is fully supported in Gomo. Once you've built your course in Gomo, you then might want to distribute it, and I'll very quickly show you the distribution options. This is Gomo hosting. Looks very similar to Gomo authoring, it's clearly the same family of products. So instead of just publishing a standalone SCORM learning object, which you can do with Gomo, if you just want to disconnect it, you can do. You can distribute your courses via Gomo as well, because it's already in the cloud, so you don't really need to re-upload it. First method to look at is Gomu Central. This is our online portal. You can brand it up with your own logos and colors and screen backgrounds. If I launch my Gomu Central, it looks like this, and I'll just get Fred here to log in and run a course. He needs to change his password. I'll just show you the student journey. So Fred's logged in, he gets the list of courses that are available to him, and he'll now run it. And this will allow us to show you the XAPI analytics. So I'm Fred, I'm going to take the Know All quiz, for which I know all the answers. So he says, there we are, question 1. When was that pub opened? It was 12th century. I know that because it's my local. Question 2, how do you access Gomo? It's via a web browser. Question 3, who is our culture vulture? We'll say it's JC, and that one's incorrect. And question 4, how does Gomo look on an iPad? It looks perfect, of course. And so we get the quiz results page, and Fred has done okay. He scored 75%. So Fred here can exit the course, and he can log out of Gomo Central. He's done as a student, but if we go back to the Hosting and Analytics portal and go and find that project, then there it says Learning Solutions 2015. This is the main XAPI dashboard. You've got your device type analysis, launches and completions, but if we go into the analytics and run the all activities report, we'll see what Fred was up to. And this level of tracking is provided by Gomo wherever you distribute your content. So we've got XAPI analytics running constantly as the students journey through their courses, and we're measuring everything they do. And we can see that Fred here resumed Learning Solutions 2015, went to the main menu, got questions 1 and 2 correct, question 3 was incorrect, question 4 was correct, and he scored 75%. And again, this level of detail, your LMS will usually just tell you this. It won't, you won't know. You'll know people get 75%, but you won't necessarily know it's question 3. And if everyone's getting question 3 wrong, this is where we can start to improve learning outcomes. So that's the first method of distribution from Gomo via Gomo Central. The app also works via Gomo Central. It's just an app view of the courses. Next, we'll look at direct linking, and I'll show you this course on our website. So very quickly, just go to this. If you've been playing with Gomo, you've probably been to this page. It's called Get Going with Gomo. It's where we send all of our trial users to get their initial introduction to the product. And we've embedded this course inside the Gomo website using the embed code. And it's our beginner's guide to Gomo. So there it is. And if I go and look at the settings for that course, it's set to direct access. There's the embed code. That's what we gave to our webmaster to get it into the Gomo website. And there's the direct link. And if I wanted to broadcast this course on email, Twitter or Facebook, I just copy that link and paste it wherever I need it to go. So that's another instantaneous way of getting content into the hands of your learners. The last one I'm going to show you is the Gomo LMS wrapper. This is if you're deploying content to a learning management system. Here's the demo course we use called LMS Demo. Have a look at it here. You can see it's 40.50 megabytes. It's not huge by e-learning standards, but it's still a reasonable lump of content. It's got some video and some audio in. With most authoring tools, I would be hitting the publish button and producing a 40 megabyte zip file ready to be uploaded to my corporate LMS, and eventually it would get to my corporate LMS, and the minute it went live, everyone would point at it and say, well, you've spelled this wrong on this page, and you've got the wrong video on this page, and you go back to your authoring tool, edit, fix, repair, repeat, ad infinitum. In Gomo, instead of sending the entire SCORM package, we can send the LMS wrapper. This is a micro file. It's about 13 kilobytes. You drop it into the LMS. It looks like a SCORM course. It tracks like a SCORM course. It reports like a SCORM course. But the content remains on the Gomo servers. The beauty of this is, first of all, if you need to modify that course, just update it in Gomo. You don't have to republish it. You don't have to send it to the LMS again. Avoid all of that FTP and SCORM nightmare. And the other beauty is you're getting the XAPI analytics as well. So your SCORM LMS will give you all of your SCORM data, and Gomo will give you the detail of device types and individual questions and answers. If I want to download this package for distribution to my LMS, there it is. Takes less than 1/10 of a second. And if I show you it in my operating system, there it is. It's 13 kilobytes. That's the payload for the LMS. That's all we have to send. And it's a one-off operation. After that, just update the courses in Gomo. The LMS will always see the new version. You see, it's such a small course, it's empty. It's just the bit of code that tells it where to look for the content. That really covers most of it. I think one other thing I was planning to show you was the themes. Sorry, I've got so many windows open now. Let's see if I can find the themes just to show you what they look like. While that's loading up, I'll show you a finished theme. So themes are fully customizable. You saw me do a little bit of customizing. But we also have a custom theme development service. So this is Jacko's new very nice looking F-Pace, and this is used for all of their dealer training. And again, they're going to be faced with the challenge of distributing this in hundreds of languages around the globe to their global dealers, and the ability to do it in Gomo with those new multilingual capabilities will make their lives a million times easier. Last thing to show you, and then I'll open it up to questions. People usually ask, well, this looks reasonably good. How much does it cost? It's hugely affordable. If it's just, let's get it into sterling. Sorry, 1 second. If it's just the authoring side you're after, it starts at £49 a month for personal plan, one user, gigabyte storage, unlimited projects. If you're a slightly bigger organization, we've got the small team, which is a 4-user plan, 4 gig of storage. Collaboration features start to come in, And if you're Jaguar Land Rover or Volvo or somebody like that, then you'll probably be on an enterprise subscription and you can talk to myself, Hugh, or any other Gomo team. That adds in things like unlimited projects and storage and priority telephone support and so on. If you want the suite, those figures, sorry, my website seems to be messing up, but those figures double to 98 and 296 per month, and again, unlimited on enterprise. And I know we've got quite a few US people on the call today, so there are those numbers. That's the suite in dollars, and that's authoring in dollars. And we've got quite a few from Europe, so there's the suite in euro and authoring in euro. That really covers everything I was planning to show you today. Hugh, if you want to unmute yourself and talk about some of the questions that have been coming through.
Hi, Mike. Thank you. Can you hear me okay, Mike?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, we've had lots of questions coming through. Just to pick some ones here that Antha was asking about switching between languages, that you were sort of moving quite rapidly through that in terms of
Okay.
how you, when you're in the editor, how you see which language you're currently editing and how you switch between the languages. It'd be useful if you could just run through that again.
Certainly. Hi, Anthem. I hope you're well, by the way. This is Gomo authoring, and I'm currently looking at the French version of that course I was making, and there's the drop down at the top, and that's how you switch languages. So if I want to go back to British English, it will jump me across. And if I go to Chinese now, everything's red because we haven't translated any of the Chinese components yet. So as you translate and change items, they change to green. So if I wanted to put the pagoda in there, boing, there it is. So in the Chinese version now, we'll get the pagoda image. And again, I can jump back to the French, and I can jump back to British English. The other thing that's worth me saying as well is, if we look at this, if we look at that text there, that fits fine. Not so bad in French, of course, because French isn't too dissimilar to English, but German can make a big difference with the amount of text, but because it's Gomo and these text blocks are adaptive and responsive, it doesn't matter. It's not going to spill over the picture of the Eiffel Tower. It will just push the welcome button down the screen a bit further, so you don't have to spend hours and hours checking every page of the German course, worrying that the text has run off the side of the page or has flowed over a button or something. Gomo will handle all that for you automatically.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mike. Another question that came in here as well was about adding other languages. So you might already have your course there with a certain number of languages, and then how you go about sort of adding in additional languages in the project settings.
Yes, so if I go to the settings for that project, you can see it's a multi-language course with British English as the default and French and Chinese. And if I say select languages, and we want to do it in Arabic language, so we'll do pure Arabic. There we go. And update the languages. I've now got 4 languages in that course. So now if I, oops, it's just telling me I haven't saved the change. I'll just save those changes. That one's saved, so I can close this now. And close that one. Go back to the project view and open up the menu again. Let's give it 1 second to open up the editor. Okay. There should be the 4th language in there. Maybe it just hasn't gone through there, but you would get the 4th language in the drop-down menu.
And the same would apply that if you just have an existing Gomo project which is just in a single language, then you can still choose to translate that and just add in the additional languages to that.
Absolutely correct, yeah.
Just another question in terms of authoring here. Saral is asking that that if you make the course in one theme, can you later change it to another theme? So in effect about switching the look and feel through the theme selection.
You can indeed, and that brings me on to the question of themes actually. I'll just see if I've got them on the page. Well, I'll bring these up just to show some examples in a moment, but yes, you can. So if I go back to, which one should we have a look at? Multilingual tests, why not? So here's one I've been working on. If I go to the settings for that course, it's currently using Night Sky, which I can customize. Or if I think actually you need a complete overhaul here, it needs to be Odyssey Light. And I just confirm the new theme selection, and that course will change completely to whatever Odyssey Light was. Custom themes, you saw the Jaguar Land Rover example. We've done them for lots of our major customers. This is Nike's theme. This was all designed with multilingual in mind, so it's icons rather than text. For the iconography, we've got very specific button styling. There's the artwork that's signed off on for before we program the theme, and there's Nike on a smartphone. And then if I want to have a look at probably the most challenging but most appealing theme we've ever done is Burberry, which looks absolutely fabulous. Next one we'll look at United Healthcare, probably one of the quickest and easiest themes we ever did, but one that I personally like a lot. And then probably the furthest we've ever gone from standard Gomo is with Volvo. They wanted their navigation schema to live up in the top right, very Scandinavian, very sparse, and these navigation themes are brought into all of the Gomo assets like so. So I hope that answers that question, Hugh. Yep.
Yes, sorry,
yeah,
yes, sorry, I was just looking at the other questions there. Again, Sorella, can you upload the output as an app to the Apple Store? So it's really the process that we go through to make that happen.
Sure. Well, there's two ways you can do it. The sort of traditional way, before we had the Gomo Central App, you can take the output from Gomo, you can run it through Adobe Phone Gap, and make an Android or an iOS standalone app of your learning content that can go into the Apple and the Google Play stores. We also now have the Gomo Central App, so if you're doing about 20 courses and you don't want to be trying to make 20 different apps, you can use the Gomo Central App, which is a Cradle placeholder app for all of your courses. So you just tell your users to download the Gomo Central app, put your 20 courses online in Gomo, and then allow them to log in through the Gomo Central app, which looks very much like Gomo Central on here, which is, where is it? Oh, I've got so many windows open now. Gomo Central, where have you gone? Yeah, this is Gomo Central. So you'll get basically an app view of what I'm seeing here, of the courses that are available to you, and you can then click on them to download them to your device and consume them offline. So two methods to get the things into the app stores. We'd probably recommend the Gomo Central app just because it makes life so much easier. Than it is a bit of a palaver to package Gomo content up going through Adobe Phone Gap, but it can be done, and we do have customers doing it.
Thanks, Mike. And also that asking about going out for translation, about Barbara asked about the package can be sent to the translation agency, but in the exact page format and not something like Word. So it's really, I suppose, the whole XLIFF format there.
Yes, so when you go to translation agencies, and I just saw somebody asking for the QR code, so I've stuck that back on the screen, but yeah, when you go to translation agencies, they're geared up to expect and receive XLIFF files, so Gomo automatically outputs content in XLIFF format. And a translation agency, they'll be waiting for that. They've got XLIFF software on all their computers. They'll read those files in, and immediately they can get to work translating all of the text straight away. They then send back the XLIFF files, you upload them into Gomo, and that's how you get your translated content. So sort of don't use the method I was showing today. That was really for the purpose of getting the idea across in a demo. But we do support XLIFF in and out for when you've got to translate, hundreds and hundreds of lines of text, and you certainly wouldn't want to be using Google Translate to try and do that.
Thanks, Mike. And also, let me just check this. Yes, Margaret had asked about the standard buttons in questions like confirm, reset, and so forth. That the fact that yes, they're part of the translation as well, so you can translate that into multiple languages.
Yes, absolutely. You saw me translating one of the buttons, like the Welcome to Gomo. I changed to Bienvenue Gomo, but yes, the standard buttons are translatable as well.
Right. Okay, I think those are the main questions which have come through. Just scanning
Fantastic.
the list. And yeah, no, I think that covers all the main points that people are raising there. So thanks, Mike.
Okay, well, thank you, Hugh, for answering everyone's questions. I see you've been typing away during the demo. Just remains for me to thank everybody else for joining us today. Really do appreciate you taking the time to have a look at Gomo. You've all had, I'm sure, numerous emails from me reminding you about this event, so if you have any further questions, if you're interested in Gomo, there's a 21-day free trial on the website, but you can also talk directly to me if you'd like any further information or a proposal for your Gomo implementation.
Mike, can I just also point out that I think that I've managed to record this presentation as well, so we'll make that available.
Thank you, Hugh. Appreciate that. Yep. So for the people who missed it or anyone wants to review it again, the recording will be online soon. But that's it for me for today. Thank you, everybody, for coming along. Really appreciate your time and also the questions. It's great when it gets interactive. And there's people saying thanks in the chat box as well. So thank you all. Hi, Antha. If you're going to ATD, we'll see you there in about 2 weeks' time. And to everyone else, if we don't see you at one of the exhibitions soon, we look forward to speaking with you all soon. Thanks very much, and goodbye.